Hello and welcome to tutorial time, where I show you how all of our custom stuff works. Now this isn't going to be covering Towny and stuff, considering that is not something that is custom to this server, but we will add tutorials for that at some point. It's not like groundbreaking or anything though. Get it? Because the rockets literally break the ground. Okay, so let's go through everything that's going to be different from your normal Minecraft experience. And let's start with rockets. So if you want to go to space, you're going to need to do a few things. Actually, we will start with oxygen, because you will die without that. So start off, you need a helmet. It doesn't really matter what kind of helmet. I'll put on a palladium helmet since it looks pretty darn fancy. I'll also butcher these mobs and set it to day because they are rather loud. Annoyingly loud. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So for oxygen, we're going to need a bar of platinum, which is actually gold, but on the server it's going to be called platinum. And we need some glass. So if we get a bar of platinum and some glass, I can speak, and grab... I don't actually need a million crafting tables. If we put that in and surround it, we get an oxygen tank. Would you look at that? We've got a nice empty oxygen tank. Now, these can be filled, of course. They'd be kind of useless if they couldn't. Do not stack them. Just because Minecraft is how it is, you can stack them, but if you stack them, it'll drain them all at once. So don't do that. Keep them separate. They aren't stackable once they have different oxygen levels, but when they have the same, they are stackable. And it'll also break the oxygen infusing system. So there's two ways to get oxygen. The first one is splitting apart the oxygen and hydrogen in water in the most lame way possible, because it's Minecraft and I can't exactly add machines since it's not a mod, so we're using a furnace. This server does have a plugin that makes it so that you can't create your own water sources, unless you're an administrator like me, in which case I can. But that means that you are actually going to have to bring... If you're on the moon or Mars, you are going to have to bring water or just bring oxygen tanks with you. There is another way to get oxygen, though, so don't freak out yet. But the first way to fill it is going to be to grab some of these water buckets. We go ahead and get a furnace, and we get a chest. Pretty simple. Plop the chest on top of the furnace. We need some sort of fuel, so we'll just grab some uranium, which is literally just coal. We'll grab a whole lot of it, so we're gonna need more for other things. So if we put an oxygen tank in the top and we do the magic that is splitting apart the molecules, definitely not just burning water in a furnace. Look at that, we've added 100 oxygen to this oxygen tank. It'll go up to 500, and then we'll start filling the next one in the tank. It'll be a slightly lengthy process for this. You do get the bucket back, which is nice, but this isn't the most efficient way to do things. It's rather slow, and nobody wants to get like a million buckets of water. It does work, though, and for emergencies, it would work very well. So there's your solution number one. Solution number two, we're going to keep the chest, and we will go ahead and put the oxygen tanks in. But this time, we're going to need a power source, which is going to be a block of uranium. So we're going to put that under the chest. And now we're going to get some plants. It doesn't matter what kind of plant. I think the easiest type to do is leaves. So let's go ahead and surround this with lots of leaves. So now... this machine, multi-block machine, is going to slowly pull oxygen out of the plants. I'm not sure if it can go down at all. I think it's just around that matters. I don't think going under will actually do anything. But as you can see, it's not a terrible speed. We're getting 2 oxygen like every second or so. I'm actually going to test this because I don't remember how I programmed it really. Let's see if covering the bottom actually does increase it. 2, 4, no. So it's just going to be that one ring around it. And you can double up. Actually, the most efficient way to do it would be every other one. Some like this, you could create an oxygen farm for filling up your tanks. Put tanks in, make sure that they're filling up. And then once they're all full, this one's full enough for our sake. Each level is 1 second, so 500 seconds is... It's a good amount of time. It's almost 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and let this fill. That's enough. And we'll just start filling the next ones too. But we're not gonna bother because this is spawn, and I'm gonna accidentally leave this here, and then people are gonna have oxygen tanks within like the first 3 seconds of the game. So we're not gonna do that. We're gonna clean this up. And now we have oxygen, and we have a helmet, which is fantastic because now we're gonna be able to breathe on other planetary bodies, or slash the moon, since the moon isn't a planet. So first, let's go to the moon. Step 1 for going to the moon is going to be killing a whole lot of blazes and mining a whole lot of coal, which is called uranium once again. We're going to need a crafting table again. Boop. And if you go ahead and you mix that blaze powder with that uranium, you're going to get rocket fuel. And you're going to need a lot of this. You're going to need 5 stacks of rocket fuel. So yes, 5 stacks of blaze powder and 5 stacks of coal slash uranium is going to give you enough fuel to make it to the moon. Next up, we need to actually build the rocket. So it doesn't matter what order you build it in. What matters is that you do have a hopper at the center here. And there's 2 other main materials, and it's going to be fences. And then this material here depends on if you're going to the moon or Mars, but we'll do the Mars rocket next. So for the moon, it's going to be lapis cobalt blocks, which is just lapis blocks. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a little plus here. Nice plus. Fences down from the plus. Fences in between these blocks. We're going to bring this up 3. Keep this side open. I'll show you why in a second. 1 at the top here, and then 2 fences up for the point. And there we go. There's our rocket. It looks very much like a rocket. We put the fuel in the hopper. We go ahead and we get a button. We close ourselves into the rocket. And now when we hit this button, welcome to the moon. It's like the Nether. It will send you depending on your coordinates on the world. Now we are on the moon, so we have very low gravity on the moon. We also have a lot of ore. We can see we've got so many nice craters. If we break this stone, let's see, I think it's gonna be called, oh yeah, moon rock, soft and squishy. So fantastic, we're on the moon, and there's an abundance of ore here, which is really the main reason to come to the moon. You can strike it rich. It gets harder to mine the lower you go down though, because obsidian starts to seep in. However, the amount of ore is much higher, and there is a special ore that you can only get on the moon or Mars, but you need to go to the moon before you go to Mars to get this ore, and you need to get a bit of it. So what we're looking for is palladium ore, which is diamond ore, but it doesn't give you diamonds on the moon and such. So it's probably going to take way too long to find. So instead, we're just going to pretend we found some. I believe that's the best way to go about this. Unless I can actually find some. Get lucky. Nope, not happening. So what we'll do is I'll just cheat here. Diamond door 10 because I'm in survival mode. So let's go ahead and break it, and look at that. We're getting something special. Very special. So we're getting crystallite dust, and it's a very fine and light powder. And so this crystallite dust has a use. We can do two things with it. So if we grab a crafting table, the first thing we can do is we're gonna need blaze powder again. And we're gonna need that uranium. If we make rocket fuel, and if we mix it with the crystallite dust, if we surround it, we create crystallite fuel. And this is the fuel we need to go to Mars. So we're gonna need, once again, quite a bit of this. And that you're gonna need a stack of crystallite dust, which will take a while to get, but definitely worth it. So we've got our crystallite fuel, and there's a second thing we can do here with this. Let's just spawn a bit more of it. If we grab a furnace, so on the server, every armor adds weight. So if you're wearing diamond armor, you will be very heavy, and you will be slow moving. Now, crystallite is special. It's uranium. It's special because if you are making crystallite, it's lighter than diamond, but it's as strong as diamond. So there's a special armor type you can make with crystallite. If you smelt down the crystallite dust, it becomes crystallite plates. And if we use these crystallite plates, we can go ahead and make crystallite armor. And crystallite armor is as durable and protective as diamond, but it's not nearly as heavy. So it does give you a nice advantage when it comes to speed, and it comes pre-enchanted with Protection 7, which is the equivalent of Protection 4 diamond armor. As you can see, I'm still walking pretty fast, even with this on. I do have the palladium. Oh, I'm out of oxygen because I took off my helmet. So I'm moving pretty quickly. If I switch to a thing of palladium, you'll be able to see the difference. It'll be much heavier. Keep myself from dying. So I'm a bit slower now, and it may be because I'm in game mode 0 that it's not really affecting me. So this is wearing palladium. And then if we take that off, start dying, and then put this on, we're much faster. Much, much faster with the crystallite gear. So that's that. We're smelting quite a bit of it. And that's pretty much it for the moon. The moon will not grow plants. So if you want oxygen on the moon, you are just going to have to go ahead, bring oxygen or bring water. And you can't make a water source. So the moon is kind of hardcore to survive on, as it should be. It's the moon. You're not going to have much other than what you bring, so you should be prepared for that. Mars is a lot more forgiving, so we are actually going to go to Mars. And because I can, I will just make the Mars rocket. Once again, I should break this because I'm leaving a ton of valuable resources in the middle of the server. And I'm going to do this at spawn so that I don't accidentally leave anything. So if we jump over here again, you'll see that where the rocket was, there was a small explosion because it flew up, and you'll see that it's gone. So no duping rockets. Yes, no duping rockets. So let's go ahead and build up a new... Oh, look, we're almost out of oxygen, actually. I wasn't actually paying attention to my levels. But I have a cheaty solution. Let's just make a whole bunch of almost empty tanks. And those will keep me going for a little bit. Just fill up like my entire inventory with them. So now, let's build the better rocket. It's going to be pretty much the same. So we're going to make it too tall like this. But this time, it's going to be made out of palladium blocks, which is diamond blocks. So if you want to go to Mars, you got to be pretty serious about it because it is not going to be cheap. Let's go ahead and grab a hopper. Bam. We need to fill this up with crystallite fuel this time instead of the normal rocket fuel. And now we're gonna go bam, 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 bam. There's our rocket. We close ourselves in. We grab a button. We put the button on and I messed something up. I forgot the corner bits. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, now this should work. Take 2. There we go. And we're on Mars. Look how beautiful Mars is. I love it. It's like this is the best looking plugin I've made. So we are now on Mars. We're in the middle of a crater right now. Mars will grow plants. It'll grow them slowly. We do have a realistic growing plugin, and I set this to being the equivalent of Cold Beach. So plants will grow very slowly on Mars, and they have a higher death rate on Mars. I don't really, maybe in the future I'll make a proper terraforming system. Not too worried about it right now. Mars, you'll still die if you take off your helmet, so don't do that. However, you can put leaves down, which means that you can use the fancier system when it comes to keeping yourself from dying. Go plop that there, and I chest 1. Bam. So we can throw something in here, and you'll see that it's filling up with oxygen. Yay! So now we won't die. That's fantastic. So you're gonna have to build a little bit of a base here, and once again, if you break diamond door on here, you will also get that crystallite. I'm thinking about adding more planets, like an alien planet in the future, but this is it for now. You can make towns on the moon and Mars, so if you want a very remote town that nobody else can get to, there you go. Go to space. It'll be great. But that's gonna be it, I think. That's pretty much all of the current specialties in NerdCraft. And I will see you all next time. I hope I see you guys on the server. Peace.